If you're interested in supporting this work, you can support me on Patreon, and that will help me make more videos and more podcasts for you in the future. Click the link down below on Patreon, or I'll put the link up here in the corner to Patreon, so you can go there and become a Patreon supporter.
Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca.
Today I'd like to talk a little bit about mantra. Now, I have a whole playlist on mantra and the details of how to chant mantra or what mantra is all about, and some of the basics of mantra in a playlist. So make sure you check that out. You just got to click on my channel and then under playlists, and you'll see a playlist on mantra. But today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to keep track of your mantras. And it's very simple, really. I mean, some people are just automatically counting on their fingers and they're trying to keep track and they're trying to write it down. And they're like, Jason, how do I keep track? Because obviously, in order for you to get the energy from a mantra, if you know anything about mantra, you have to chant the mantra 108 times. So ideally, you chant that mantra 108 times in the morning and 108 times at night. Now, if you're a real keener, if you're somebody that wants to get real fast progress, you chant that mantra all the time, 24/7, and you always are either chanting it silently in your mind, or you're chanting out loud, or you're whispering it, or you're chanting it during your meditations, but that mantra never leaves your mind, right? You're always focusing back on that mantra, even if you lose touch with it. And this way you will get to that 125,000 first level of power of repetitions, right? 125,000 repetitions releases the first level of power. So this is how you can fast track your progress. If you start chanting more mantra more often, all the time, then you'll reach that 125,000 at a much faster rate. Now, some of you have been asking me how to keep track. Well, how you keep track of mantra is you use a mala. Now, a mala has 108 beads. So as you chant a mantra, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, you just pull one bead towards you. Traditionally, though, you actually push one bead away, and you push the beads away as you chant. I've always done it the opposite way. I've always pulled the beads towards me as I go around. And then once you're all the way around the mala, then you're at 108. So there you go. That's simple, right? So in order to keep track of how many malas I chant a day is that I'll have my watch, and I'll actually use my chronograph on my watch or my timer and keep track of how many malas I've done, like 1, 2, or 10, or 15, or whatever, and I'll just keep track of it on my watch, or you can write it down, or whatever way that works for you. But you do have to start with a mala. That's really the best way. It's a lot easier to keep track of because you will find that your mind will space out when it comes down to holding on to analytical thinking when you're chanting mantra. And of course, there are spiritual techniques and meditation techniques to help bring that analytical mind into your spiritual practice. But first things first, just let the mantra do what it's going to do. The mantra has its own intelligence, its sound, and naturally if you keep chanting it, naturally this will create the shifts that are necessary in order for you to get to the next stage of your spiritual journey. So yeah, use a mala. You can get malas from a lot of different spiritual stores or Buddhist stores or Hindu stores. Like the malas are all over the place. I have some of the students that are in the WLS school that work with Aratima that actually make malas, or at least one student offhand right now. I know a couple other people are experimenting with that. You can also make your own mala. Use some stretchy string, and sometimes I'll find small beads, and I will just string 108 beads there and use some crazy glue on the end to make sure it's nice and tight, and then I'll use the mala. Now, the other thing that you need to know about malas, and not everybody knows this, even some pretty advanced practitioners, is that when you break a mala, it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes when you break a mala, they say you break a karma. It's actually your spiritual energy has reached a boiling point so that it's broken a certain structure in your ego. And sometimes this will show itself in the breaking of the mala itself. So if you start doing a lot of spiritual practice and you start breaking malas here and there, don't be surprised. It just is a natural part of the process, and then you just repair the mala, or you get another one, or it's kind of like I guess a samurai and his sword. The mala becomes your friend, and you make the repairs as necessary. So yeah, but anyway, this is just the basic of how to keep track of your mantras, is to use a mala, and you keep track of that 108 repetitions. And ideally, if you're going to chant mantra, I would recommend at least chanting 108 in the morning and 108 at night, at least, of a mantra if you want to get some sort of benefit from it. So I hope this helps you out on your spiritual journey. Thanks a lot for watching, and take care for now. Those of you who are interested in taking a formal course on enlightenment, my teacher Aratima offers a formal course called the Wisdom Life School. You can get more information at aratima.com.